Ba-dum, ba-dum, dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, dun, 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 dun. Bum, ba-ba-da-da-dun, dun, dun, dun. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-ba-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dun. Clearly, it's recording and everything's fine. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It is currently 2:20 p.m., meaning I get to make lovely videos for lovely people. Da, 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 da. I should probably adjust this so it's one, two, 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 two. That's probably fine. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, that's even better. That's even better. Do, 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 do. All right, let's get into this. My ear will decide to be fine today. Spin that wheel! Woo! Everybody clap. Everybody happy. It's time for yet another Deck Tech by me, your favorite Deck Tech boy. Uh, but before we get into it, please make sure to like and subscribe. It means a whole lot to me, but we're not here for that. We're here to talk about Arjun, the Shifting Flame today. This little crafty boy is a 6-mana 5/5 with flying. Whenever you cast a spell, put the cards in your hand on the bottom of your library in any order, then draw that many cards. So what are we doing today? We're spinning that wheel. So we're going to be casting a lot of spells. We're going to be cycling away just a bunch of cards, and we're going to be capitalizing on it with things like Jace's Erasure, which makes people mill cards. I mean, Mind Moil is basically just like a backup plan because it's the exact same thing as Argent. It literally does the exact same thing, but it's an enchantment. So Teferi's Tutelage does the exact same thing. Sphinx's Tutelage, same thing. Psychic Corrosion, same thing. Our opponents, but why don't we create big bodies while we do it? Because we're going to be casting all the spells, drawing all the cards. So you could just create a bunch of 8/8s out of nowhere. Every single time you draw a card, you could just you can make the big 8/8 boys, the big boys, and they're big lads. But missions, huh? Our favorite, because why not? You can just cast things for free, cast more spells, draw more cards, win the game. But we care more about the creatures in this because they're going to help us get to that point. This deck is obviously really late game, so you're probably going to want to be sitting back and just being like, guys, please don't kill me. I'm just a little lad. So like Alondra, Sky Dreamer. I mean, whenever you draw your second card each turn, you create a 2/2. That's pretty good. But when you draw your fifth card each turn, it gets a lot. It gets really big. So you're just getting big hand, big boys, and swing out. And you're going to be doing this quite a few times. I mean, if you can get multiple triggers off of this, you can just absolutely destroy your opponents because you don't have to mill them for once, which I think is pretty neat. Brawl, Chief of Compliance, it's just basically mana cheats. Burgie gets you more, so you can cast a lot more of your spells. Body of Knowledge is also just a big body, so you can block everybody while also, whenever it's dealt damage, you draw that many cards. So that's pretty neat. You also have no maximum hand size because it's actually kind of important in this because you want a really big hand for something like Body of Knowledge. Dockside Extortionist because we have a shenanigans. Do we? We do not. But it's just a real easy way to just suddenly get a lot more colored mana because that's the problem with a lot of Storm decks is they kind of struggle with colored mana. So having access to a lot more colored mana in the form of treasures is really, really good. Exalted Flamer of Zinch, Just allows you to just deal damage to your opponents, also get more instant sorceries back so you can just keep the train going. Goblin Lectromancer, obviously mana cheating, because mana cheating's good. Gutter Snipe, instant sorceries, deal damage. Heck yeah. Harmonic Prodigy also doubles the triggers of a lot of your dealers uh, for things like Gutter Snipe. But also, it doubles Argent's ability, which I think is pretty neat. Because if you think about it, you get the Argent trigger, and then you stack another one on top of it, and you bada bing, bada boom, you get two triggers for the price of two mana. That's pretty neat, if I say so myself. Laboratory Maniac is just you have no cards in your deck, you win the game because you're probably going to be drawing a lot of cards. And what if you happen to draw more cards than your deck has? You probably lose unless you have Laboratory Maniac or Jace Wielder of Mysteries, because that's a contingency plan. Lyra Disciple of the Drowned also allows you to have your spells be uncountered, so you just can go and go and go and win the game. Um, but also has instant sorceries, flashback, good, really good. It's just like Past in Flames, which we also have in this because we just want to be comboing off, just dead, absolutely dead. Niv Perrin allows you to draw cards, deal damage to your opponents. Player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card, meaning you're probably going to deck yourself eventually with how many spells you're going to be casting. It's storm time, boys. Storm time. Oger Pakpatik, however you say this name, instant or cast an instant from your hand, it gains rebound. I mean, we got some instants. We got 12 in there. They're pretty good. Pretty good ones. Psychosis Crawler, great card. 5 mana, deal damage every time you draw a card. Ooh, peak stuff right there. Kiln Artist also creates a treasure whenever you cast instant sorcery, which is pretty good. It's like Burgie, but allows you to also cast blue spells as well with it. Tolerant Sky Summoner also just gives you more butts because butts good, butts really good. Uh, Thassa's Oracle also is just a contingency plan because contingency plans are good. Whirlpool Rider or Whirlpool Warrior are basically just like you shuffle your deck away, or you shuffle your hand away and draw that many cards. You're going to want to be doing that anyway. So why not be able to cast one of these, shuffle it all away, well, put them all on the bottom of your library, draw that many cards, and then if you have an instant, you can play it on top of that, and then shuffle them all away, draw more cards. Good. Have fun. Good deck. Uh, Aetherflux Reservoir is really good for Storm just because you can nuke people, cast a spell, gain 1 life for each spell you cast this turn. Probably going to be casting all the spells. So why not just nuke your opponents for infinite damage? Infinite damage? That sounds fun. Obviously, stuff like Arcane Signet, Chrome Mox, Jeweled Lotus, Soul Rings, Talisman of Creativity, just for little mana rocks because we need all the mana we can get. Things like Tormod's Crypt, Spellbook, Sensei's Divining Top. Oh, Sensei's Divining Top. Perfect for this deck because if you think about it, you're taking all the cards that are in your hand, putting them on the bottom, and then drawing that many cards. Well, why don't we just always make it so that we have at least a card to play and it's a 1 mana card. So as long as you have a mana, you can shuffle your whole hand away. You just play the Sensei's Divining Top, throw it on top of your library, and just keep on keeping on. Things so Thought Vessel, obviously another mana rock, but no maximum hand size. Vial of Galadriel, I was like, what? Who would ever put this in their deck? But draw a card while you have no cards in your hand. You technically start out drawing no cards, so you draw 2 cards instead. So you basically shuffle your hand away or put it on the bottom of your library and then draw that many cards plus 1 because of this. Gain life while you have 5 or less life, you gain twice that much life instead. Not the best, but it pairs really well with Aetherflux Reservoir if you happen to have, let's say, 52 life, but you've also just been drawing, like, you've been playing so many different spells, so you're up to, like, let's say, like, 7 cards that you've played in this turn, then all of a sudden, you nuke them, you're down to 52, and suddenly you play another spell, then instead of gaining 8 life, you gain 16 life instead. We're back in business, boys. We're back up to 18 from literally casting 1 spell. Beautiful. Mind Splice Apparatus, 4 mana. Beginning your upkeep, put an oil counter on it. Instant sorceries you cast, 1 less cast for each oil counter on it. Oh, excuse me. That's really good because turn 4, you get that out. Okay. Turn 5, your stuff costs 1 less. Turn 6, your stuff costs 2 less. Now you have Argent out. All of a sudden, your, I don't know, Into the Fires costs 1 mana. Insane. But we need to be talking about the instant sorceries in this. How could I have forgot? The main point of this deck. I mean, stuff like Winds of Change, Windfall, Wheel of Fortune. Just shuffle all your cards away. Treasure Cruise, because 1 mana, draw 3 cards isn't broken at all. Obviously, you've seen it in every Storm deck you possibly could. Sarah Visions, Preordained, Ponder, just basic little spells that manipulate the top of your deck, draw you cards. It good in the early game, good in the late game, still good in general. Past the Flames, obviously, we talked about. Molten Psyche is also another shuffle cards away, draw that many cards. But also, it's Metalcraft if you happen to have a lot of artifacts, which says if you control 3 or more artifacts, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards the players draw this turn. So just a little extra little punch in the face as you're sitting there just drawing so many cards. Mystic Mastery, perfect for whenever you're popping off in those turns. And if you're able to get that overload off, suddenly you're casting all the spells. You get so many Argent triggers, and your opponent's basically just dead. If this is late game and you play Mystic Mastery, the game's over. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Jessica's Will, also just allowing you to play even more cards, get the early game going, just able to get from late game earlier, mid game, beginning game. Great card. Absolutely great card. Taxing Probe is able to real quick just get a trigger off of Argent. Absolutely awesome. Faithless Looting is also just one of those little mini cantrips that everybody knows and loves. But I don't run a lot of counter spells and stuff because I just personally don't like them. If you want to add more of them, like you can get the deck. If you see it at the top of your screen, you can get that if you want, or if you want to comment down below like, hey, I want this deck, that I can give you the link to it. But I did put Arcane Denial in there just because it draws you a card. And drawing cards is neat. Obviously, it draws them 2 cards, but we don't care about what they're doing. Brainstorm, Consider, and stuff like Opt. Obviously, the small little cantrips that we're just going to be playing just to get more Argent triggers. Valakut Awakening and Hilarion Winds, just ship the cards and get even more. Reality Shift just as a removal spell because we need at least a piece of removal, want to know. And Mana Drain just allows you to, I don't know, get out an Omniscience a lot sooner if somebody does decide to counter it off. Or Mystic's Mastery, hey, we can overload it a lot sooner now. Vote Calamity, it's like Mystic's Mastery, but less, but good. I mean, you can invoke Calamity and then Windfall and Wheel of Fortune, for example. Now you get 2 more shuffles, but then you get 2 more off of Argent. Oh, beautiful. Frantic Search, free spell. Absolutely free. Fierce Guardianship, just in case, if you're on your pop-off turn, you could just quick go, you're not going to be countering my spells today. I'm looking at you, target opponent. Dramatic Reversal and Isochron Scepter is literally just a game-winning combo in this. I mean, it literally just, you just keep copping it over and over and over again. You get infinite mana, and you can just do whatever you want. It's basically just like an Omniscience, but less, but more at the same time. Consider it's just another cantrip. But I think I just got through all the cards in this. So if we're looking at a 2.72 average mana value, the 10 obviously being the Omniscience, this is the color distribution. As you can tell, it's a lot more focused on blue, not a lot more on red, but we still love them both the same. But if you guys like the deck, please make sure to let me know by liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next deck tech. Bum 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 bum. Ba-dum bum 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 ba-da-da. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Ra ra dun 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 dun. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. I should probably eat something. Or should I? I should eat something. because I have not had anything to eat this morning because I woke up late. Mm. How do I want to start this? Have you ever been playing against a blue-black player and they clearly have multiple mana open? They could possibly have a removal spell or a counter spell, whatever they want, and you just completely forget. You play your best card, and they say, "Hey, get a clue, a counter spell," or you go, I'm gonna swing out and play this real big, I don't know, overrun," and they're just like, "You know what? Get a clue, counter spell." Ah, ah, ah. Today, we're actually getting a clue in the most literal way possible with Morska Undersea Sleuth. But before we get into it, please make sure to like and subscribe. It'd mean a whole lot to me. But we don't care about that now. We care about Morska Undersea Sleuth. It's from one of the new murders of Karlov Manor. For 3 mana, it's a 2/3. You have no maximum hand size. Ooh, beginning of your upkeep, investigate. Ooh, are we making clues? I think we're making clues today. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put 2/1 counters on it. Is that Voltron clues? Ooh, I think that might be. But we're making clues today. We're making so many clues. Ooh, it makes me tingle. But even we are only just running 10 artifacts in there. That doesn't seem right. What? Why? But I mean, stuff like just Arcane Signet and Soul Ring, all three of the talismans. I mean, that's like already almost half of the artifacts we have in this. That doesn't make any sense. Thousand Moon Smithy. Look at that. It just creates a little 0/0. That's power touches each equal number for artifacts. But we don't have a lot of artifacts in there. What's going on? It's because we're making clues, boys. We're caring about clues. We're drawing cards. We're making a bunch of tokens. I mean, it even flips into just we're making big creatures today. We're making big creatures. Tamio's Journal, 5 mana, beginning of your upkeep, investigate. Where have I seen that before? You could tap it and sacrifice 3 clues and search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. What are we getting? I don't know. Get whatever you want. Get a Cyberdrive Awakener, Displaced Dinosaurs. Oh, excuse me, Kappa Cannoneer. I get a Tangle Growth Kelp. I don't care. You can get whatever you want because it says any card. So if you get any card, you can get any card. Nettle Cyst, also, you can immediately equip it on a Morska, and you are just getting, oh, so much infinite value. Infinite value. Quark Clan works also turns those clues into sacrifice the artifact, add 2 to your mana pool. Neat. Mana ramp is fun. Inspiring Statuary also turns those clues into you can tap them for mana. Instead of sacrificing them, you can tap for mana. So if you happen to have Inspiring Statuary and Quark Clan Ironworks, you can literally tap it and sack it. All of a sudden, that one clue that you have sacrifices for 3 mana. That's insane. But we're going to get to the creatures last. I mean, sorceries, we have basic ramp with Farseek, Nature's Lore, and 3 visits. Some card draw with Thoughtcast just because it's too perfect to pass up. But Rise and Shine, probably one of my favorite cards from March of the Machines. Oh, look at that. You overload it, and each non creature artifact you control becomes a 0/0 artifact creature and put 4/1/1 counters on them. Ooh, ooh, you hear that? Do I hear an army of 4/4 clues? Ooh, I do too. We love that card. Love it. Our instants are just kind of the basic, just removal spells, whatever. Fierce Protection, Sword to Plowshare, Stroke of Midnight, Heroic Intervention, just Growth Spiral, Dispatch. Also, Confront the Unknown. Not a lot of people would be playing this as they're not making a lot of clue decks, but we're getting a clue today. Investigate, then target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each clue you control. Uh, do I hear infinite clues? Yes, sir. Uh, Infinite value for 1 green mana? Yes, sir. We're just getting a huge buff spell. Can harvest. I usually don't like to put it in a lot of decks just because your tokens are probably going to die. They're susceptible to board wipes and things like a lot of creature based stuff. That's it's just kind of But since they're clues, you have to destroy all artifacts. Obviously, yeah, they can Vandal Blast, but you can just get it right back up. You could second harvest into Rise and Shine, infinite value. Or if you have displaced dinosaurs on there, they're 7/7s, but we'll get to that in a second. Vicious Interrogation, you could just basically keep kicking it over and over again and choose any number of target players, investigate X times, where X is the total numbers of creatures those players control. Does that sound like a whole entire board? Or something like Displaced Dinosaurs or Cyberdrive Awakener? That's what it sounds like to me. Like I said, we're getting the creatures. I'm alluding to them, but we're gonna get there. Overwhelm Mysteries, non-token creature control dies, investigate. That's just good. Sacrifice a clue, get a 1/1. That's pretty good. Thorough investigation. Whenever you attack, investigate, sacrifice a clue, venture into the dungeon. I mean, hey, that's just value, baby. Primal Vigor and Parallel Lives, obviously, doubling Season Anointed Procession. You're just getting double the everything, double the clues, double the value. Ooh, what is this? A 2-for-1 special? That's what I think. Ongoing investigation. One or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player. Investigate. See? Value. On the trail, draw your second card each turn. Put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. Sounds like value. Ominous Seas, drawing cards, you can get 8/8s. I mean, hey, you can even double them because they're tokens. You know what that sounds like? Value, because we're getting a clue today. Mechanized Production, slam that on a clue. You can just win the game off of just having clues. Into Deep, turn something into a clue. Because you can even say, you know what? Now you have a clue. Because we're getting clues, so why don't you get one too? Armed with Proof turns all your clues into equipments, give +2/+0. I mean, hey, that sounds like value to me. And then all that glitter. Oh, new Pauper staple right here. 2 mana. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact and or enchantment you control. Does that sound like Morska gets +1/+1 every single time your upkeep just happens? Heck yeah, it does. But now, now to the pride and joy, the creatures. That's what we're all here for. That's what we care most about. Artifact enters battlefield under control. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Ooh, Whirler Rogue. Tap to untapped clues, basically you control, becomes unblock. Target creature becomes unblockable. Ooh, Urza, Lord Hide Artificer. Get a big butt. Also makes your clues tap for blue. Ooh, Tireless Tracker lands getting clues. Ooh, Three-Of Inspector. Get a clue. Oh, all the value. All the value you'll ever want from this deck. Uh, Thought Monitor just draws you cards for basically 1 mana and creates you a 2/2 fly. Oh, Tangle Grove Kelp, literal win condition right here. Beginning each combat, your clues become 6/6 plants. That's insane value. You're gonna have all the 6/6s. Why wouldn't you want some 6/6s? Shimmer Dragon is literally just a hexproof lad that just instead of sacrificing clues to drawing cards, you can just tap them. Yeah, obviously, infinite value. Artifact enters the battlefield under your control. You basically look at the top card. If it's a land, you can throw it in your hand. But if it's not, you can just chuck it in the graveyard. Just be like, no, I don't want this anymore. Psychosis Crawler, just in case, if you're going to be drawing a bunch of cards, because probably are anyway, just deal a little bit more damage to them. Pew, pew. Pow, pow, pow. You could just sacrifice all your clues. Pow, pow. Deal all the damage to them. Private Eye. Detectives, you get +1. There's not a lot of detectives, but whenever you draw a second card each turn, target detective can't be blocked this turn. You know what Morska is? That's right. It's a fish detective. Not just a detective, but a fish. Peregrine Took also means if you create tokens, you create an additional food as well. You know, really good for stuff like Rise and Shine, Displaced Dinosaurs. I mean, all the above. Tingle Crab, that's just clues. I forgot. Novice Inspector, investigate. It's like Three-Man Inspector, but different. Noble Hierarch, Manadork, you know. Mondrak, it's just another anointed procession. Merchant of Truth, not until creature controlled dies, investigate. Clues you control have exalted. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like Voltron, baby. A special with Morska. Voltron. Lotus Genetic Expert. I mean, you could just investigate, punch, sacrifice a clue, put a 1/1 counter on another target creature you control. I mean, that's just value. That's just value, baby. Lotus cryptozoologist can basically just say, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice a bunch of clues. I'm playing from your deck now. Yeah, how do you like it? Kappa Cannoneer can literally just every time you make a clue, it just becomes unblockable. In other words, it's unblockable every turn. Ah, easy. It's a legacy, I believe, staple. Don't quote me on that. Junkwinder just taps down all your opponent's stuff. Token enters battlefield, tap down all your stuff. Yeah, Jahiri or Jahira, Jahira. That one. Your clues tap for green as well. I mean, we're getting a clue, but we're using them. Forensic Gadgeteer, cast an artifact spell, investigate. Neat. But it makes all your clues make you pay 1 instead of 2 to tap it and sacrifice it, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Ethereal Investigator just investigates a bunch, draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1. Neat. Erdwall Illuminator, when you investigate for the first time, investigate an additional time. I mean, we're going to be investigating anyway, so why not just do it more? Displays dinosaurs, like I was saying. When as a historic permanent enters the battlefield under control, it becomes a 7/7 dinosaur creature in addition to its other types. So all your clues, all your food, all your anything immediately becomes 7/7s. Oh, oh, infinite value. Infinite value. Detective of the month. As long as you have the Sitting's Blessing, detectives you control can't be blocked. Morska just becomes unblockable. Draw your second card each turn. Create a 2/2 white and black detective creature token. Oh, do I hear that? Unblockable 2/2? Yeah, I'd like to make one every single turn. Cyberdrive Awakener is Rise and Shine, but as a creature form and makes your artifacts have flying. So it's just a way to end the game. Birds of Paradise, just, it's a Birds of Paradise. So why not? We need all the stuff we can get. Atrix and Nev, just double all the clues. We need even more clues, even more value. Academy Manufacturer, to just round it all off, every time you make a clue, you also make a food and treasure. Or the Peregrine Took also makes that other food a clue and a treasure as well. Infinite value. Every turn, you're just making like a billion tokens. It's absolutely insane. I love this deck. I actually want to play this. Heck, I might even make it in paper. It just seems awesome. I have so many clues. I can make all the things. But setting up an average mana value of 2.94. This is the mana curve. Ooh, this is the color distribution of it. As you can tell, there's quite a bit of blue, there's quite a bit of green, not as much white, but it's all good. But if you guys like the video and if you want it, make sure to comment down below saying I'd like this deck, please, and I'll make sure to leave you a comment. But after that, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next deck tech. Bum 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 bum. Ba da ba da dun dun da 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 da. Oh. Mum, 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 mum. Num num num. We're talking about Zombie Voltron. Lord of the what now? Lord of Tressorhorn. Lord of the Zombie Voltron. Oh, scusums. What is it? It's wonder, filth, and anger. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lord of the who? Lord of the what? Lord of the who? Lord of Tressorhorn. That's who we're talking about today. We're talking about Lord of Tressorhorn. Really old card. I mean, it's from Alliances. Oh my lord, that's from forever ago. That's from 96. You know how long ago that was? That was I wasn't prepared to do math today. 28 wait, 28 years ago? Yeah, 28 years ago. I can do quick math. But before we get into it, please make sure to like and subscribe. It'll mean a whole lot to me. And comment down below, it's being like, hey, I like this deck. I want it. And I'll give you the link to the deck. Because if you want to play this, by all means, I've actually played this before. One of my buddies actually built one, and I got to play it. And I happened to pull some cards that he was just like, I threw it in just as funny. It's just as little haha jokes. And I happened to draw both of them, and I murdered the whole table for it. Because they were thinking that this deck was going to do nothing until they realized, uh-oh, there's a lot more sinister plans in tow. But Lord of Tressorhorn, 4 mana, 10-4. Oh, you can pay a black and regenerate it. What? But whenever it comes into play, you have to pay 2 life, sacrifice 2 creatures, target opponent draws 2 cards. That's not good. Why would you ever want to do that? Well, at the end of the day, we don't actually care. We have a 10-4 now. But why don't we just instantly negate it with a card that a lot of people would put in their deck because of how salty it is, but it is perfect for this deck. Super Orb. 2 mana. Creatures enter the battlefield, don't cause abilities to trigger. Shuts off so many decks, makes this just insane value. I mean, yeah, it locks out Dockside Stores. Yeah, I'm putting it in the deck anyway, but you're probably not going to be slamming Toper Orb immediately anyway, because that's just giving away, like, yeah, I have enough to play Lord of Tressorhorn. But you could slam it down immediately anyway. It's up to you. You either get one or the other. It's 1 out of 99. It's whatever. But we are going to be playing Voltron, but zombie. You don't have your Toper Orb. You need creatures to sacrifice. Like, oh, and what better things to sacrifice than zombos, little zombies? Whole zombie package in here, and we have just a weird version of Voltron. I love Voltron, but this version is weird. Cloak literally just makes it so you can just bop bop and basically kill somebody every time. Unblockable and Shroud. Unscythe, Killer of Kings. You ever seen this card before? 4 mana. You can equip it for 2. Equip creature gets +3/+3 and first strike. I mean, that just makes Tressorhorn a 13/7 with first strike. Creature dealt damage by equipped creature this turn is put in the graveyard. You may exile it, put a 2/2 zombie into play. I mean, hey, value. Trailblazer Boots, unblockable. Reaver Cleaver turns into 11/5 with trample, deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker. Create that many treasures. Infinite value, especially if you give it unblockable or something. Obviously, stuff like Soul Ring and Arcane Signet, because you kind of got a Shadow Spear +1 trample lifelink. Ooh, so much life. You have so much life. Prowler's Helm, unblockable except by walls. Brexler, we'll get there. We have an infinite because we need infinites. Everybody's like, I hate infinites. They make the game so trivial. That's the point. Obviously, it's a zombie deck. If you know any zombie deck, it's got to have this infinite in there. I'll just go ahead and say it. It's with Gravecrawler. Just infinite sack outlets right there. It's infinite. That's Grizzlebrand, flying in lifelink. Oh, infinite the value. Inquisitor's Flail deals double damage, but that's not double strike, baby. That's just double damage. Hammer of Dazan turns it into a 12/4 with indestructible. You cannot kill it. You just can't kill it. He's a big boy. Crafted Exoskeleton gives him Infect. So you just need to give him unblockable, and then bada bing, bada boom. Crafted Exoskeleton with something like Artful Dodge or Distortion Strike. All of a sudden, you're killing you're killing just one person. Next turn, kill another person. You look at another and go, Maya Wamu Shinderu. And they go, Nani? And they die. They just die. I didn't even put in here, you're already dead. But Basilisk Collar gives a Death Touch and Lifelink. Mostly just care about the Lifelink, but you can put it on one of your little zombos and give it Death Touch. So when in doubt, you can block all the haters. Pop, pop. Just kill their big creature. They don't deserve it. You deserve the big creature. You want the big creature, not them. But we're just going to get on the spells first before we get to the creatures, because that's the zombie package. We care more about Lord of Tressorhorn right now. We've got stuff like Victimize, which reanimates things. Seize the day allows you to bop bop with Lord of Tressorhorn even more. Reanimate. Feed the Swarm, it's a removal spell. Faithless Looting gets your stuff in your graveyard and draws you even more cards. Ooh, peak. Distortion Strike and Earth Dodge, like I said, it just gives them unblockable. Distortion Strike Dodge has flashback. Ooh, so beautiful. So beautiful. You can just do it so many different times. It's amazing. Buried Alive. Favorite combo in this. All right. Favorite combo is you play Buried Alive. You put, as long as you have, oh, which is the Triland? Why didn't I put the guys? Is this my first mistake? What is this? Grixis Triumph. I need the I need the Triumph. Xander's Lounge. Why didn't I put in Xander's Lounge? Literally, that was like the whole point. I was like, that's literally a combo right there. We're all good. Oh, see, guys, and this is why you have to go through your decks before you start playing them. Make sure it's not nothing but lands, and make sure it actually has lands in it. But with Xander's Lounge, you play Buried Alive, you get Anger, Wonder, and I don't know, you can either get Filth if you want, or I prefer to get Gravecrawler because then it allows for infinite combos. Every single turn, you could just get a 2-1 with haste and flying. Oh, infinite value. Infinite value. Demonic Tutor, just real simple. Get whatever card you want. You can just win the game. I don't care. Instance, Tragic Slip. It's a good removal spell. Creatures are going to be dying anyway, so why not? Just bada bing, bada boom, -13, -13. Kill that Emrakul. Humor Rage and Trample. Ooh, that is a combo if I've ever seen it. Tainted Strike, get +1/+0, and Infect, give it unblockable. Pop! That literally kills everybody. Kills anybody that ever wants. They just need unblockable. Not dead after all. If your Lord of Tressorhorn dies, you go, that's crazy. I'm not actually. Or do it on your other creatures. I don't care. Entomb, if you want that Anchor, if you want that Wonder, if you want that Filth, if you want whatever you want, slam it in your graveyard. And all of a sudden, value. Deadly Rollick, because it's the best. It's the best. Like, it just exiles a creature for free as long as you have Lord of Tressorhorn out. It's just free. But when you get onto enchantments, because enchantments are fun. Love enchantments. Honestly, I'd say one of my top. How many? How many? Hold on. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One of my top 8 card types in all of Magic. I know, a really long bit, but I mean, hey, that's funny. I don't know what to tell you. The Rooftop Storm makes your zombies cost 0. Infinite value. Phyrexian Reclamation just returns creatures from graveyard to your hand. So you can just reanimate over and over and over again. It's fun. Phyresis gives Lord of Tressorhorn Infect. Ooh, literally have, I don't know, put Phyresis on Lord of Tressorhorn on turn 5. Oh, you have enough mana for it. If you have Whisper Silk Cloak out, you put Phyresis on Lord of Tressorhorn turn 5, Whisper Silk Cloak, equip it onto him. All of a sudden, your opponents can't touch it. It's unblockable with Infect. You are killing somebody every turn, starting at turn 5. Dun dun dun. Open the Graves. Non-token creature control dies. Create 2/2. Is that the combo with Gravecrawler and Phyrexian Altar? I think so. Grave Pact also, whenever you do that little infinite Gravecrawler sacrifice glitch, each other player sacrifices a creature as well. Oh, they're just killing all of them. The same thing with Dictate over Erebos, but it's still a little bit more mana. Glistening Oil gives Infect. Bada bing, bada boom. Lord of Tressorhorn becomes a killing machine. Dreadhorde Invasion just gives you those little zombies so you can sacrifice 2 Lord of Tressorhorn. Ooh. Also can eventually, if the zombie token is power 6 or greater, gains lifelink. Neat. Cult of the Absolutist gives Lord of Tressorhorn +3/+3, turning into a 13/7 with Flying Death Touch, Ward, pay 3 life. Beginning of your upkeep, sack a creature. I don't care about sacking creatures. They're going to be going to the graveyard anyway. Bitter Blossom. Oh, it allows so many of those sacrifice creature stuff because every turn you're paying a life and getting a 1/1. Oh, beautiful card. Beautiful card. Animate Dead, just another reanimator spell. Aether Tunnel gives +1/+0 and can't be blocked. You're thinking, why don't you have a lot more unblockable? Like, why don't you have a lot more of the instant stuff that gives something unblockable? Well, the problem is, most of the time, the problem is that they're not repeatable. And something like this with Aether Tunnel, 2 mana, it's the +1/+0 is the most important part of it. Because if you just give it unblockable on an enchantment, then Lord of Tressorhorn has to take 3 hits on a player and not just 2, because only dealing 20 commander damage to an opponent isn't enough. You have to deal 21. So giving it the +1/+0, you can deal 22 damage to the opponent and they die. I mean, hey, I don't make the rules. I just follow them. But on to the creatures. That's what we're here for, baby. We got the Wonder, obviously. Wilheld, the Rock Cleaver, just gives you a whole bunch of zombies, drawing cards, all this shenanigans. Just a great card in general. Undead War Chief. Zombies cost 1 less to play, and they get +2/+1. Guess what Lord of Tressorhorn is? He's a Zombo, so he's a 12. Yes, sir. Undead Augur draws you a bunch of cards. Nightscape Familiar makes your blue and red spells cost less to cast. Ooh, hoo. Lord of the Undead gives them +1/+1 and returns zombies from graveyard to your hand. Infinite value. Lizard Blades gives double strike on your Lord of Tressorhorn, so you can go bop bop, kill somebody with a bop bop. Kedis is literally whenever you go bop on one player, the other 2 players get bop bopped right at the same time. Infinite value. Jadar, Ghoulcaller of Nephalia, end step, you create a tutu with Decayed. If you don't have anything with Decayed, I mean, it's neat. You can literally just have Jadar out, and all of a sudden, you can sacrifice those 2 for Tressorhorn. See, it's fun. This Rider, zombie you control dies, create a 2/2. Gravecrawler shenanigans. Infinite. Grim Initiate dies, mass 1. It's a 1/1 first strike. It's a basic little creature. It's but it also can kickstart the Dreadhorde Invasion. It just bump it up a little bit. It's just a little fun card. I love this little lad. Obviously, Gravecaller, all the shenanigans. Gleaming Ophir enters a mass 1, and the zombies have Hexproof Menace. Because why not? Because why not? Why not create an even bigger and bigger man? Uh, Gisa and Geralf, each of your turns, you may cast a zombie creature spell from your graveyard. I mean, hey, that's just Reanimator to me. Geralf, Visionary Stitcher, they have flying. Oh, I'll give Lord of Tressorhorn flying for just having a 1/4 out that I can block all those 3/3s for days. Yes, sir. Filth gives Swamp Walk if it's in your graveyard and you control a swamp. That's why you have Xander's Lounge. Boring. Dockside Extortionist because it's Dockside Extortionist. Why not? You know the mana you can get. Diagraph Colossus is just whole bunch of it becomes bigger. You cast a zombie, create a 2/2. There's so much shenanigans, but that's what we want in this. We want shenanigans. We want Voltron. We want zombies. We want all the above. Diagraph Captain. Zombie you control dies. Target opponent loses 1 life. Is that a Phyrexian Altar and Gravecaller combo? Bada bing, bada boom. They're dead. Death Baron gives your zombies 1/1 and Death Touch. Neat. Champion of the Parish. Another zombie enters. It gets a 1/1 counter on it. Neat. Cemetery Reaper, give +1, and you can exile creatures from your graveyard and create 2/2s. I mean, it's all right. You probably would want to have those creatures in your graveyard anyway, but it's another creature, and it's still pretty good, and can eventually be good late game. Because why not? Bladesmith Scab is technically a good card because it conveniently gives the +1/+0 for your Lord of Tressorhorn, so you can bop bop with the stuff. And people are going to look at it and go, +1/+0, that card sucks. And then they realize, Lord of Tressorhorn goes bop bop, kills you in 2 hits instead of 3. Baleful Strix, favorite card, have to add it. 1/1, flying touch, enters, draw card. Ooh, ooh, Absolutely beautiful. And then anger gives things haste. Zombie, Voltron, Tribal. Oh, absolutely amazing. But here's the average mana curve of it: 2.4 average mana. This is the color distribution. Obviously, a lot more black than the other colors because we're playing zombies, and zombies are mostly black. But if you guys liked the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite deck is or whatever you want. I don't really care. I might give it a heart. We might all have fun here. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next deck tag. All right, I'm done streaming. Bye, everybody.